Overall, everything's positive in terms of those guys are adamant about getting back to the line of scrimmage. There's not much there. Learning how to really read the second and third level so they can extend those plays and create those big plays where Wayne's just a little bit ahead, just because he's got more experience.
How did the quarterbacks look today?
I thought they looked pretty good. They made some good throws, put the balls where they needed to be, and the receivers made some competitive plays. There were a couple opportunities where I thought ball was a little bit low, especially down in the red zone. But you don't want to throw it high in the red zone, and we didn't come away with the play there. But overall, I thought they managed it pretty good between those top three guys.
Kelly in particular?
I thought Kelly looked pretty comfortable in there today. We really challenged him to just go play, turn it loose, and he was making good decisions. He was decisive. He was pulling that ball down and running, extending plays with his legs, made a few good throws. Looks like his decision making was pretty good today. So I'm excited to get on the tape and kind of see how he progressed today.
Was Kelly who got most of the snap? Did Deshaun get sparing work again or what?
No, Deshaun worked pretty good. He started out and worked the first part, and I know he came back there at the end to work a situation that we wanted him to get some work on. But he was in there, and I don't know the actual breakdown in terms of Kelly and Nick, but they both were rolling and they both got first team reps too.
About short yardage situations, are you encouraged with how they played in these situations?
Been pretty encouraged. Especially down on the goal line. We've had some success, which is tough versus our defense, because obviously they got great personnel, and that D line is going to be something special, especially interior D line. And then they're able to get an extra one in there when you're down on that goal line. So having success is encouraging there. That's the confidence that we need to go into the offseason so that we can build upon it, so that when we get into those situations in the game, we have the confidence going against our defense. Because truth be told, we probably won't see a complete defensive line better than what we see every day in practice throughout the season.
Was there one particular area that improved greatly from a week ago?
From a week ago, I thought the running game was more consistent. We were finding, we were more consistent in terms of 4 or 5, and then popping some big plays. It didn't look like we got the quarterback. We didn't have guys in his face, so I thought the protection was pretty decent. But again, I got to watch the tape to really tell. It's hard when you're calling plays and going fast to process everything. But encouraged, but we still got some areas. The big thing is the one turnover that we had, and then we did have a couple of penalties, which we didn't have last week, which was a little bit uncharacteristic.
Sometimes we look at Wayne as a bruiser, but apparently he broke a pretty good run today.
Well, that's one thing is he had a decision to make, and he had an opportunity to potentially go out last year. And I talked to him and said, let's go make yourself a complete back. And so not only are we trying to add that element of finesse, but understanding when do I need to be finesse, when do I need to be a power back, and then really working on him catching the ball out of the backfield. He made a good play on a screen play, which is encouraging. You're starting to see him more comfortable catching the ball, and for us in our system, and then for his future, those things that he needs to really work on. And I can't take all the credit for that. Wayne's done a lot of work, but Terry Allen and Diamond Adams, just having those guys who've played the position, played it at a high level, being able to coach him up, you're really starting to see him have the true feel of the position, which is allowing him to be able to be that bruiser, but then also turn it into finesse and skate and stay square and then pop and find. And it's encouraging to see how he's progressed just in the 11 practices back from the season.
How do you do that? Is it just maybe sliding off of a block rather than maybe getting in behind a blocker? How do you do that?
First, it's knowledge and understanding of how we're blocking it. Preparation in terms of studying. Obviously, we're going against our defense, so we're studying what they do schematically and kind of understanding how those backers fit and understanding how I can influence guys to fit where I'm not going, So you want to influence guys, set them up, and then stay square and be able to burst. And he's got all the raw materials. It was just a matter of time and experience and repetition and really getting to the point to where he had the experience and the knowledge base to where the game slows down. So the game is starting to really slow down. So if you look at the best of the best, they tell you that the game is slow to them. They can anticipate and see things happen, and that's where he's getting to.
After 11 practices, are you seeing any separation with the two quarterbacks, the two backup quarterbacks?
It's day to day. And then obviously Nick's had a tough situation with his class schedule. Mm-hmm. So in terms of the reps, Kelly's probably getting more reps, and they both bring something different to the table. And it's tough when they're not live. because obviously there's several things in our system that we require the quarterback to do, and with those guys not being live, it's tough to tell if there's that much separation. But we need both of those guys to push each other, and I know by the time we get ready to kick off, we'll probably have some separation and be able to determine, but it's hard to tell.
I know you said Kelly's more comfortable. Where's he more comfortable? What specific things are you seeing that he's more comfortable at?
Well, he's for us to play fast. It's a lot on the quarterback. From a terminology standpoint and from a communication standpoint. So you're starting to see the confidence in the communication. The understanding of the progressions with the read. Because again, Streeter challenges those guys to the utmost to make sure they can command the entire system. And for us to play fast, you got to have answers built in schematically to what you're doing. But you got to be able to diagnose what the defense is doing, make a split decision, and get to the right progression. So you're seeing the communication better, and you're seeing him getting to the right progression based off of what the defense is doing.
How many offensive linemen do you feel like you have that you can count on now? 8, 9, 10?
I think 9, and then hopefully by the time we get ready to kick it off, we're trying to have 10 of them ready. But feel good with 9. Definitely 8. Feel good with the 9th, and then trying to push for 10. If we can have 10 guys that we feel really good about, and again, spring is tough because you get bumps and bruises, and guys aren't in there. But really feel good with the first 5, and there's competition, probably 7 that you can go with, right now. And then we got an 8 that we feel right on the cusp, and then we feel confident that by the time definitely 9, and then hopefully 10%.
Are you still seeing a lot of competition with Hearn and Morris and Crowder?
Definitely. I think that Hearn and Crowder, are the guys that have really kind of taken a step. Hearn's not Hearn, but Maverick's not far behind, so he's pushing. We're really challenging him because we need all those guys. Because again, look at the situation at tackle. One of those guys may have to bump out and play tackle for us too. So being able to have those guys interior-wise that you're comfortable with in case you have something on the perimeter, you can move a guy out, plug it in, and you don't miss much.
What's the biggest thing you look for when you look at those running backs behind Wayne to see what's the biggest thing one of those guys can do to kind of separate themselves to become the number 2
it's
back?
just the consistency in every aspect of the game. Because one, with the new position, I'm upstairs, so I'm not down there with those guys during the game. So the communication is a little bit different. So they got to be able to function in every situation. So just the big, first and foremost, ball security. Can they protect the ball? Can they protect the quarterback? And then when they block it for 4, are they getting 4 yards? Or is it a situation where they're getting 3, getting 2, just because they're not quite, understanding the reads yet. So just really being a complete player, catching the ball out of the backfield, and I don't want there to be a difference when Wayne's out. The next guy, you take the jerseys off the number, and you couldn't tell the difference. That's really what I want for somebody to separate from that pack and really push Wayne.
Haven't heard a lot about Jake Frumorgan this spring. Is he cementing that right tackle job, or is it still a competition there?
I think that he's pushing every day. He's gotten a lot better. You've seen his technique improve. He's feeling a lot more confident in his strength. Now that he's had a little bit of an off season in the weight room. Obviously, right now the guys behind him are younger, freshman guys, and then obviously Noah coming back off of being out for a little while. He's not quite in a position to push him yet, but I think Jake is a guy that pushes himself. So you're seeing tremendous improvement. But I think once we get to fall camp, we'll really be able to say whether he solidified that position. But I'm seeing progress that I like, out of Jake. We're starting to see the flashes of what we knew he was capable of. It just took him a little bit of time, and it's unfair to him because he got Mitch on the other side, and then you get compared to Mitch, and Mitch is a freak, a lot like Christian Wilkins. That guy over there is a freak. Those guys are, and it's unfair to compare other guys. Those aren't your typical freshman guys.
I hate to assume, but let's just assume that the 5 include Crowder and Hearn. Falcinelli backup center. Where does Noah Green fit in? Who are those other 4 guys that you're talking about?
Right now, Falcinelli is working center, but then also giving us flexibility at guard. Then you got obviously Maverick Morris, and then you got Noah Green is a guy that we felt good about. And again, he's had a little bit of issues, so he's missed a little bit of time. But when he's been in there, he's been consistent, been productive. And then you got the 2 freshman tackles that have come in, and very similar to your Mitch and Jake situation from last year. Probably not as maybe highly touted recruiting-wise, but all the same in terms of players. Ankram's going to have an opportunity to be a very, very good player for us, just like Pollard is. And obviously, once those guys gain more experience, and this is huge for them being here this spring, and then they're going to have the off-season to train, and then they're going to have 30 practices. So by the time we get ready to roll, we're going to feel good about those guys, being able to contribute.
Are they doing as well, the 2 freshmen with the learning curve as Jake and Mitch did last season?